we're getting on average about 200 views per day, and that represents about 2 to 3 inquiries, if not more, over the course of 1 week. So even if that land is sold, we can also push them onto another block within that development, or push them onto another block of land that we might have available at the time. So what I'm doing with some of the builders at the moment is I'm asking the question, have you got developers, I should say, have you got land available? And if so, let's talk to them. Let's see what their price is and call it $400,000 for a block of dirt. Let's package up one of our plans, and again, trying to work out where your clients, where your I suppose your sweet spot is. And say your average build will be 350, 400,000. We bring that land together with that $400,000 build, package it up for an $800,000 house and land, throw a little bit extra on top just in case we've got to allow for extras like soil, etc. But then once we put that onto the open market, inquiries basically start flooding in from day one. So it's working really well. I'm doing it with 3 or 4 builders at the moment on the East Coast, like Glenn said, and the inquiry rate has been fantastic. And I think it's safe to say that their builds have increased too. Can I mention names, Glenn?
Yeah, of course. But I guess we should just clarify a couple of things at this point, Craig. We're not being the agent for the land. So we're just identifying land. We're working with the agent as appropriate and putting that package together. It's certainly the East Coast guys, the New South Wales guys are using realestate.com for that purpose.
Yep.
But Craig's identified asset base as a sort of means of moving a lot more stock. So, mate, if you could, it'd probably turn your attention to how that's working.
Yeah. So what we're doing with asset base at the moment is we're obviously allocating a development or a certain portion of that land at that project. We give the opportunity to Josh and his team. He then focuses on that, a turnkey solution, call it 320 as an example. And that would be for a traditional investor that wants to get a nice yield of 4 to 5%. Josh and his sales team goes out and finds those buyers, presents them, has information days or nights online, face-to-face if possible. And then he connects the dots for myself and for the builder to then package that deal up where we're getting the land sale, which isn't necessarily, it just helps the developer, builds a connection there. We get the build, obviously, as integrity, and Josh and his client get the turnkey solution investment, where they're hopefully getting good capital growth and a good rental yield over the 5-10 years that they hold it.
All right. So how many have you done with Josh and asset base over the last couple of years, Craig? So I think that's
well, if you look at even just this year, and please butt in if you want, Josh, I know there's about 60 to 70 transactions just between Port Macquarie and Nambucca that Josh has been involved in just this year alone.
Sure.
And I could throw it out there to Josh. What kind of numbers are you looking to do as a business per year?
Look, ideally what we'd like to be able to do is we've got a lot of people who are looking to invest, and obviously Sydney's become increasingly unaffordable. We're based in Sydney, so we predominantly focus on New South Wales and the rest of Australia. But look, anywhere from about 15 to 20 clients a month is sort of what we're comfortably achieving. I mean, our biggest month was, I think, about 35 sales, and that's only house and land packages. So we don't do, counties or anything like that, just traditional 200 to 230 square metre homes, 450 to 600, 700 square metre blocks of land. And again, just that turnkey solution as well.
And it's a very, very simple formula. It's 200, like Josh said, 2 to 200. It's, the 4 2 and 2s, hopefully slab on ground.
Is that what you're saying, mate? 2 to 200
220 square metre homes.
120 square metre slab on ground homes, is that?
Yes, correct. Anything with too much slope or anything that's too difficult to build on, in all honesty, we'll avoid it, and probably better for the builders at Integrity as well.
Well, I mean, our builders do lots of homes like that, but we're
Yeah.
just interested to know how to provide stock into your network so they can increase. See, we would focus on custom builds, and a lot of our builders are seeing plenty of that type of work, but maybe
Absolutely.
not as much of this type of work. So we just want to open up that additional market, shall we say, to move more stock like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 220 square metre slab on ground home on an 800 square metre block is your sweet spot.
Well, look, typically anywhere from a 450 square metre block of land to up to about 700. Anything above that, obviously, you've got a very large backyard and a lot of landscaping costs. And we find that the tenants quite often struggle to maintain such a large parcel of land as well.
And the idea is, is once we get that formula right to whichever area it is, whatever whichever builder we're using, because Josh is doing bulk, we can knock out as a builder 5, 10, 15, 20 in one hit. It's a lot easier, more, economies of scale, and it's just a turnkey formula. So the builders don't have to think too much about, building those 5 or 10, year in, year out, hopefully, If we've got the land, then happy days.
Yeah, so we've been dealing with a number of different builders nationwide, and look, what we were able to do, and I think is a really good solution, is idealistically you've got 2-ish designs, and you just rinse and repeat them in various locations. If you know that you're laying 5, 6, 7 slabs in a suburb in the space of a week, it's obviously easier for the builder as well.
Sure. So just to be clear, we've got people on this call, certainly from New South Wales, but we've got builders in the Melbourne region of Victoria. We've got builders in the Midwest of Western Australia, builders in Queensland. So you're open to packages from any of those marketplaces?
Absolutely. So we're licensed in nearly every single state in Australia. So we're more than happy to assist. And obviously it needs to meet a sort of a criteria like I discussed. But certainly, we've, just put together 2 or 3 sales this week in Perth, and I think a sale last week in Melbourne. So we're a national business, and we do have clients all over the country as well.
Sorry, Felicity, I see South Australia is also represented this afternoon. So
hey,
we have all the states.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. So Craig Adams has obviously been doing business with you guys for a number of years. How many years are we talking about, Craig?
We've known Josh and his family for 20 years, but if Josh's father's a real estate agent and developer, his family come from builders, so I've known him for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Starting to do more business with him of late.
Yeah. Okay. And Craig's the conduit from our business to Asset Base in terms of preparing the packages, formatting them the way Asset Base need them delivered, and then interfacing with Asset Base to get the transactions done.
So one example would be just recently is with these ones in Nambucca. We obviously got the land at 220 or 250, packaged the deal up at say 630, 620, and then that's where Josh came in and said, okay, there's, I think, how many did you do in Nambucca, Josh? 20 or something? 21, 22,
Yes.
something like that? Just in one smallish subdivision. So that was relatively easy, and it was a turnkey solution also.
Yeah, good. Well, I think there's markets that this is going to be quite easy, the way where there's available land, and there's markets where it's going to be quite challenging, where land's the constraint. I think the builders could be selling a lot more homes if land was plentiful. So it's a case of making our builders aware of the potential here and keeping their eye open for a development or sites that might suit the model.
And I think it's a good point, is that if you've got land out there, guys, or you've got developers and your time poor, don't hesitate to flick me an email or a call, and I can try to package them up if you want to.
Yeah, it's a good point, Craig. That's been an obstacle for a lot of our builders, not having the time. And I know you're packaging at the moment for, you mentioned you're doing that for 4 of the builders between Sydney and Brisbane at the moment. So that Craig's pretty hands-on with getting those packages together, liaising with the developer, and coming up with a product that Josh can then market to his client base.
And trying to get that sweet spot again, and making sure that we hit the market and we don't go too high or too low. And then what I'll do is I'll work with the drafties. If, like, for instance, we've got one at the moment up the Lennox Head area. the packages are for small duplex style homes. So we've got Daniel from your team to get a purpose built duplex. Now that's going to be packaged up next week online with some nice brochures and out to the marketplace for 62 blocks.
Yeah, and that sort of scales. I mean, you're the first builder to work with that developer, so it sets a really good precedent for the rest of the estate, because we've shown a lot of initiative in bringing that to market to help the developer. So that's ideal. Now, Josh charges a fee, of course. The fee is added on to our build prices. So we're not talking about discounting our build prices. Josh's fee is added on to the build price, and then he's paid through the progress payments of the build. And Craig is also charging a fee, which is usually covered in our standard pricing in terms of the sales commission allowance that's currently in our rates. But Craig can help you put the flesh on the bones with how we price and bring these products to market. But needless to say, it's above what you might deal with mum and dad client that comes into your office or show home, but it's above because Josh creates a marketplace that's looking for solutions they can't find without his
Correct.
Well, the great thing as well, guys, is that with our clients, you're going to get very little by way of sort of variation. So, everything is going to be fast track with regards to color selection. So there's no sort of big manipulation of, can I move this out a meter? Can I bring this in a meter? Can I change this? So it's effectively what our purchasers are looking to do is we want something that's nice and easy, that's going to be built as efficiently as possible. It's marketable. So the benefit being that we're able to provide volume, but at the same time, that you're not going to get, 15 people asking for a different shade of, tile or carpet. It's basically, let's go in, get the build sorted, and obviously get them, get the build in the
investors, Josh. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. So 95% of our clients are investors, 5% are owner occupiers. So those investors are just after, like I mentioned, just a nice, smooth, easy solution. They're not overly fussed with regards to floor plans and orientations and changing things around.
Yeah. All right. So Craig manages for the builders in the network he's working with at the moment. And just to remind everyone, Craig was introduced to our group by Wayne Frank's business on the Coffs Coast. And then we realised Craig's capacity was a lot bigger than Coffs, shall we say. So that's how he's ended up doing work for a lot of the builders on the East Coast. Craig handles the whole transaction through your Gyro database. So the job's created in your Gyro database, and then the transactions managed through there the way you would any of the builds, with Josh providing a sales consultant oversight, shall we say. So the job's created in there, priced in there, contracts are issued through Gyro the way you'd be familiar with, and then you're delivering a build for an investor that's been introduced to the business by Asset Base. And Asset Base would raise an invoice to you the way any subcontractor would through the duration of the build.
And the thing is as well, just so you know, we're well aware that there's a lot of constraints with building. So what we've done is we've got a construction team. So what they'll do is when you issue an invoice, effectively the job of the construction team is to make sure that that progress payment gets paid as quick as possible. It doesn't sit in their inbox for a week or two. Nothing worse than obviously being waiting to get paid. So we do have 2 individuals that work in our business. And at the moment, we've got about 180 builds that we've got on the go nationwide. But their job is to make sure that when those progress payments come in for base, frame, lockup, they're forwarded to that broker for immediate payment to you. So I guess it's very important for us to make sure we support our builders as well. And so we do have 2 individuals in-house purely there to chase progress payments and make sure that things get paid on time as well. So
very important to us too, Josh.
Absolutely.
It's music to our ears.
Absolutely. No, yeah. Oh, I've heard it all before. Oh, sorry, I haven't got a printer, or it was in the inbox, I missed the email, and it's been a week or two. And then, we're all well aware that banks are taking a really long time to process those payments. So the quicker we can get onto it, the more beneficial it is for everyone involved.
Yeah. All right, good. Look, I think that's been a worthwhile summary. I'd like to open up to attendees today to put some questions out for the purposes of clarification.
Absolutely.
So is there anyone that wants to type in the chat, and we can, if you'd like to, I can unmute you so you can talk to Craig and Josh about their exact requirements, or anything you feel that hasn't been properly covered so far.
Yeah, one more thing I wouldn't mind adding, if you don't mind, guys, is Josh has also got another division as part of his business where he'll bring self-managed super fund clients in also for finished products. So rather than having a dual contract, land and build, a one contract arrangement where, but it's already built, right? So that's something to add to there.
So that's a constraint with super funds, that they can't split the contracts. A super fund can't buy the land and enter a building contract. They have to get established product.
Correct.
Yes.
So if your builders are doing speckies, perfect opportunity to talk to Josh also.
Yeah. Exactly right. So looks like we've been very clear. No questions coming in yet. Last call for questions. Morgan, well done. Morgan says, you're better off teaming up with a real estate agent to put the house and land packages on. Okay. Yeah, Morgan, if I can answer that just with my experience, and maybe Craig can add to this, the agents are very good at selling. Well, they sell vacant land. I don't know if they're good at it, but they have vacant land for sale. They're historically not good at packages. So what the agents may do, if you're lucky, is refer the buyer back to you, and then yes, of course, you can provide a sales function like you do with your existing clients. But it's quite different to what we're discussing here. What asset base do? It's like bulk sales of packages to a large investor base that really takes the pressure off you to handle that sort of retail transaction with a client, and increases the volume of the sales quite markedly. So the agents will never do that for you. I've never met an agent in my life that can achieve what's being described here.
No, you're spot on.
Yeah. Josh's business isn't unique. There's a few businesses like Josh's operating in Australia, but what I like about Josh's business, I guess, is Craig's long-standing relationship with the business and a track record of proven performance. So that's why I'm recommending this.
Well, the important thing as well, I guess, is that with regards to a local real estate agent, obviously they may have a specific listing, but in many instances, look, let's be honest, real estate agents, they're going to chase a dollar. So, if another builder approaches them and says, hey, I'll pay you a bit more if you sell my package over someone else. So I think also what's really, really important is that, our job doesn't end with the sale. Like, we're there to support the builder through the whole process as well. So, and, typically a local real estate agent, they won't, a typical real estate agent won't chase up progress payments. They won't, if there's an issue, they'll be like, oh, look, it's, that builder's issue to solve. So what
they won't do is target investors that are looking for a house and land package investment. So it's quite a different approach to marketing.
Correct.
Yeah. I think TJ has asked a valid question. How do we get the developer to hold the lots so we can get the packages sold?
Well, generally we try to it depends on what stage the development's at, right? So if it's in pre-marketing, then we've got an opportunity to get in there and sink our teeth into some lots before it goes live. If it's gone live, then they're not going to be as flexible if those blocks of land if they're walking out the door like we're seeing at the moment. So what I try to is really, again, we've got to be speedy about it. Make sure that if we do find some land, try to get it live within the week. So emails and inquiries can start rolling in. Ideally, we want to try to get in there beforehand, but that's not always an easy process either, because so I wouldn't find many developers at the moment would be holding land for a builder just to put some house and land packages together.
Sure.
Well, look, and the thing is as well is that obviously that's the current environment, and it will change. And obviously in 6, 12, 18 months time, you'll have, and I've got no doubt, you'll have land developers approaching builders going, hey guys, do you want to put half a dozen blocks on hold, because obviously there's a lot more being delivered to pipeline as well. So times will change.
Yeah. Let's talk about the lead time though, because I think it's a really crucial question at the moment. So someone brings forward a handful of blocks. Craig, you identify a product and a price that's attractive to Asset Base. The Asset Base is advised of the stock. So we might have a week sort of getting the information together, and then how long would Asset Base typically need to move that stock? What lead times could a builder say to a developer that they'd like to retain and the opportunity to sell a package? How long would it take? Is it a month? Is it 6 weeks? Is it 2 months?
Well, I can tell you at the moment with those ones that we've done recently, Glenn, you're aware of, that's only taken Josh about a week. With the ones that he did bulk in Nambucca, I think he only needed 3 or 4 weeks, Josh?
Yeah, it was 4 weeks. That was a 4 week, but it was 20 in 4 weeks. So that was, it needed a bit more time, obviously.
and the developers there were very happy to set aside 20 blocks and roll the dice, knowing that, Josh, if you could deliver, then, they'd be happy people, because that was quite a few $1 million worth of sales in that period,
Sure. Yeah, okay. Well, there's some, like I've said at the start, there's some markets there's going to be stock ready to go. There's many that aren't, but we are interested in the solution and seeing if we can get more business through Asset Base. And Craig, we appreciate the introduction and your involvement in packaging these things up.
No, that's fine.
Morgan said he's interested with this pleasing. Any other comments from anyone? Does anyone want to type in the chat if they think they might have land that's suitable for this this product, this market, shall we say? I'm looking at the list. Yeah, certainly Geraldton, there is land available.
What's the price point on that Geraldton's blocks?
I wonder if we can take Morgan off mute, Tim, just I'm also minded that Geraldton does have some land that'd be suitable.
Hello.
Yep.
Are you there, Morgan?
Yeah, because we got that whole Glenfields there, Glenn. That's eventually it's already pre-approved. I'm pretty sure because it's already on real estate, as in like on the map side of things.
Yeah.
But that's going to be all the way to Sunset from Glenfield, because that old part's just packing up with homes as it is now. But yeah, you can get about 600 square metre block with ocean views for 99 grand at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah. So the Midwest of Western Australia is very unique development opportunity. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Good. A lot of available land. Very good.
Okay. So it'd be interesting to look into that a little bit further.
Yeah. Thanks, Morgan. Anyone else think they might have land that'd suit this model? All right. Well, everyone else is quiet but attentive to the solution. So I'm hoping you can contact Craig direct with any more observations, questions, if you think you might want to participate straight away. Great. Charlie has some land, which is pleasing. So Charlie's in the eastern area of Melbourne, and that's good. So Charlie, you might want to contact Craig direct about some packages there, and
typing in my details now, guys.
Yeah, great.
So Josh, those two markets that's just been mentioned, the eastern areas of Melbourne and
yeah, absolutely. We've certainly, like I said, we've facilitated purchases in nearly every single state in Australia. I think the Northern Territory is the only market we haven't sold anything in for a while now. But yeah, other than that, nearly every single state in Australia is pretty much covered like we've done it in the past.
Yeah. All right, good.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, look, as well as that, guys, if there is any sort of queries, obviously go straight to Craig. But if you did want to do a quick Google search on our organisation as well, just to see who we are, what we do, we've got a pretty stellar reputation. So we're really excited to be partnering with Integrity because, again, I think it's important to partner with businesses with the same sort of moral compass. So, yeah, really looking forward to working together.
Yeah, great. All right. Thanks,
Beautiful.
guys. Thanks to everyone that's attended.
Thanks again.
Lovely. Cheers.